Welcome back to another episode of On the Pulse Golf Talk. I'm your host, Mitchell Bain. This week, we're going to dive into the Olympics golf competition for the men. I didn't have any preview on betting this week because honestly, I didn't really have time to dive into any statistics or anything over the weekend. And then I didn't really love any of the lines that I was looking at early in the morning. And so I wanted to really make sure that I was looking at what I needed to. And then some information came out actually from Scheffler and Tom Kim talking about the course. So we'll talk a little bit about that now. So they're playing at Le Golf National in France, and this was played for the Ryder Cup in 2018, and this is also where they play the French Open on the DP World Tour. And so typically, what you're looking at here is a missed fairway penalty that's pretty high. There's water all over the course, so you cannot be, far off. You can't be wayward with your drives and your irons. And so initially, what I was looking at was guys that were extremely accurate and were hitting their irons really well. And from reports from Scotty Scheffler himself and Tom Kim, who actually played this course last year at the French Open, said that the expected penalty for missing the fairway was a lot smaller than they thought. The rough wasn't as penal, and it was kind of beyond, the water hazards. There really wasn't a lot of missed fairway penalty, and so that kind of frees up a little bit from what I was looking at originally. But in all honesty, I'm still going to stick with guys who are just, hitting their drivers well, don't have a huge missed fairway penalty for them. And so I'm going to look more at, distance from edge of fairway, because if you miss, it's okay, if you're in the rough, but you can't miss by a lot. And so, given that, let's go ahead and look at the field and see who we can take in DFS. So we'll start by looking at the 10K and above range. And, for me up top, I'm really looking at only two guys. It's Scheffler and Xander. Those guys have been the two best over the whole year. They're playing the best golf, and Xander coming off the win at the Open. Uh, I just feel like that they kind of exactly fit that mold. Scheffler is the best iron player on the planet, and Xander, arguably is, these two are one and two for Player of the Year. Again, Xander's more of an all-around golfer, where Scheffler is specifically ball striking. We know that he struggles with the putter. I think that this winning score is going to be between 17 to 20 under. If it's soft, which it's been raining in France, that this scoring could get to about 20 under. So, looking at where Xander won the PGA Championship, I think it's probably going to be around that score. So, again, for me up top, I wouldn't fault you for going with either of these two. It's either going to be Scheffler or Xander. Ownership wise, it looks like they're not coming in very high owned either. So really, it's just who fits the preference of what you want here. Going down a little bit, I'm not going to play Rory. He's priced under the top two guys in the world, and even though he's coming in at lower ownership, he still can spray his driver. He's played this course before like I said, in the Ryder Cup, but I just think that both having guys above and below him that I'm interested in, I'm just not going to get there. John Rahm's interesting. Looks like he started to turn his game around a little bit. Finished seventh at the Open, and then comes and wins last week on Live. So with his total driving, if he's got his driver working, I can totally see the play here. It's just not for me. As I said, I'm going for the driver guys who hit that fairway, so consistently, and that's why I'm moving down to Ludwig and Colin. Colin might end up being the highest owned player on the slate, but the way his all around game has been with his driving accuracy, his long irons, now his short games come around, his putters come around. I think that at that price, he's still a good play. Again, you just have to play him in a certain way where you get different other places. And then Ludwig, again, going back to him, he disappointed at the Open, but that's he was in the bad weather wave, so I'm not too concerned about that. He could bounce back. We saw him play well at the Scottish. He drives the ball straight, so I think he's a really good play there. He honestly is probably going to come in the lowest owned of these guys, so I think that's a really good play to play Ludwig there. Moving down to the 9K range, I don't really love this range. I'm just gonna kind of put it out there. I didn't play anybody out of this range, but I can see you going to a few guys here. A few guys again. We're going if you're going with accuracy and total driving. Shane Lowry. Obviously, he's been playing well. That's a pretty steep price tag for Shane Lowry. Tommy Fleetwood. He's always a fan favorite at these plotter courses where you got to get the ball in the middle of the fairway, hit your irons, and make putts. So I can see Fleetwood. Tom Kim, as I said, he's got really good course history here. He placed sixth at the French Open last year when he played, and again, accuracy off the tee, good with his long irons. Anytime you have a long iron course, it's Tom Kim time. And then Alex Noren. Alex Noren actually won here about, I think it was 5-6 years ago at this course at the French Open. And so obviously he's got good course history. So I could see, if you want to play Tom Kim Noren. But again, there are guys in the 8K range that I like better. And so I think I'm going to just skip these guys. Wouldn't fault you for playing Tom Kim or Noren. I'm just not going to get there with me playing the upper guys and Scotty and Xander and Ludwig and Colin. I just can't get to these guys there, but they're not coming in too high owned. Again, maybe 14 to 16%. So if you want to play them, I completely understand that. Moving down to the 8K range, like I said, there's some guys down here that I like a little better, and it starts off with Corey Connors. If you look at what Corey Connors has been doing, he's just been steady Eddie. He's been really playing well, and now he's starting to putt. The short game is a little better, and again, he's just accuracy, accuracy, accuracy. He's going to hit the fairway. If he misses the fairway, he's only off by a little bit. He ranks in like top 5 in misses from the edge of the fairway. And so he's going to be super accurate, good with his long irons. And so I'm going to be on Corey Connors. I can see a bounce back here from Hideki. Obviously, he made the cut at the Open, but really didn't do much. If you're looking at comp courses for him or for this field, it would really be TPC Sawgrass, the tournament formerly known as the Honda, and Muirfield Village. And Hideki's played really well at the Players and has won at Muirfield Village. So I could see you go into a low-owned Hideki. I don't think he's going to be above like 12%. So I can definitely see that. Fitzpatrick, if he can get everything together, he wouldn't be a terrible play. I'm just not keen on his ball striking. Same thing with Jason Day. If everything's working together, Jason Day is a good play. But his irons, both Matt Fitzpatrick and Jason Day's irons, have not been well recently. My other play down here is Seb Straka. Again, just accuracy, pepper the fairways. He ranks, again, in the top 5 in fairways hit. And so, hitting the fairways, hitting your long irons, just avoiding bogeys, being able to come out there and score. I'm going to go with Straka here. He might be a little high owned, probably 15 to 16%. But again, I'm going to mix and match him with guys here in the lower range in the 7 and 6s, and hopefully we'll get a good percentage there. No on Minwoo. Yes, he's going to be able to club down, but irons again. Dietrich would be okay. Like he's decent. I think his missed fairway penalty is a little high, but he's ranked like 35th in this field out of 60 golfers, so right in the middle. But yeah, I'm just not really there. He's going to come in low owned. Ben on again, just he sprays it too much. When he's on with his driver, he's on, but he's not going to be able to use the weapon of blasting drives out there. Same thing with Wyndham Clark. I just don't think he's going to be able to blast drives out there. He's good with his long irons, so I could see Wyndham Clark. Again, he competed at the Players this year on a high water course, so I could see it if his driver is dialed in. I just don't know. I'm not going to take that chance with guys that I like below. I never play Matthew Pavon. It's I'm good on that, and we'll go from there. So moving down to the 7K range, again, right at the top, a guy I like is Carlos Ortiz. He just won 3 weeks ago on Live in Houston. He's not going to really model out very well, but he is accurate off the tee. His irons aren't very good, but he's going to come in at very low ownership. Like he's going to be single digits. So I think I'll take the chance on him where, Pavon's probably going to come in at double digits. And then, you're not going to no one's really on the next couple of guys. And so I think I'm going to take my chance with Carlos Ortiz. He's played in the Olympics before. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and take a chance there. Moving down the board, Moronk's, okay, maybe. He's decent off the tee. Not so much with his irons again. Nikolai Højgaard, same thing. He can spray it a little bit, so I'm not going there. Ryan Fox, same thing, sprays it, so not going there. But the guy I'm going to be on there is Answer. Again, he's not very long, but hits all of his fairways for the most part. And then also he's good with his approach shots. And then also didn't just get hot with the putter. I think he's honestly going to sneak inside the top 10, even in the top 5, if he's really on, and he's been playing well. So Answer is going to be my play here. Guido just won not too long ago. Again, I think he's a decent play there. I think he's going to come in probably about 12 to 15% ownership still. And so, depending on the contest selection that you're in, but he sprays it a little bit with his driver. He's about 40th in this field of 60 with the driver. And so for me, I could see it. He's really good with his irons. So, playing Guido, I understand. Same thing with Christian Zadenhout. I can see him, again, just peppering the fairways. He's about the same, really, from a talent standpoint, from a golfer profile standpoint as Guido. But again, he's going to probably come in about 15%, and so from that perspective, I'll be off. Going down the board a little bit, looking at Perez. He's the other Frenchman here. So I think he's gonna, really play well. He's been kind of trending a little bit too, and same thing. Like he hits his fairways. He's not, too great with his irons at times, but he can make putts. And so, you get a guy that has the backing of the French crowd, and playing in his home country for his country. And I think that he's gonna play well this week. So Victor Perez is definitely a play for me. And then I'm not really on any of these guys down on the rest of this range. Eric Van Rooyen last week, he was the darling of everybody at the 3M Open again, and I faded him again. And, he hit every single piece of water that he could. And so why do I expect that he's going to do anything else this week? I just think he's going to end up being in the water again, and I'll pass on that. All right, so moving down to the 6K range, just looking at a couple names here. Grillo, he's had the Olympic experience. He played well last week. He, again, is going to hit fairways. He's decent with his irons, probably in the top third of this field. So definitely playing some Grillo. Mito Pereira, he's going to model out well. He just hasn't been playing well. So if you want to take a shot on him, he can't really putt very well. But with the score being 18-20, it's gonna be tough. But I mean, he's gonna come in super low owned, probably like a 5%. So if you want to take a shot on the upside and the talent with the ball striking, that could be a play. But I'm not going there. Nakajima, I looked at him a little bit, but his off the tee numbers aren't that great. Everywhere else is fine. So if you want to bet on the fact that he can keep it in the fairway and then hit some good iron shots and make some putts, I could see that as well. I'm gonna go to Nick Taylor though. Nick Taylor's been kind of treading water all year. It's kind of been a down ever since he won. But if you look at the comp courses, his comp courses between the Players and Muirfield Village, he's actually not been bad. He had top 30s in both of those fields this year. So I'm going to go to Nick Taylor, and he's probably going to come in at like 7% owned. So I think that he's a good play here. Kevin Yu, I just don't think he's going to make enough putts. Valimaki, I'm not there with the irons. Um, Going down the board, Sharma, he's going to be super popular. He played really well at the Open. He's been playing well lately. But just for me, I just don't think that he's going to be a play because of the ownership. Right now, it's looking like he's coming in, anywhere between 14 to 16%, and I'm just not going to do that for a 6K guy. There's other guys that I can play. Like I said, go up to work the lineups a little bit better, a little bit a difference, so that I can get $200 to get Nick Taylor coming in at nearly half the ownership of Sharma. And then Matty Schmid. Last week, Schmid played well at 3M. Again, a course that has a ton of water. He came in 13th, and so I'm going to take that form and go with Schmid down here in the 6K range. Looking down the board again a little bit, I don't really see anybody else that really intrigues me. All these guys are just really. I don't think you're going to get much upside out of them. So I'm just going to go ahead, and my last guy in is going to be Schmid. So just looking at a few things when you're going and looking at bets for this week. Wanted to hit on a couple things since I did not do a betting show earlier this week. One thing that I really focused on, and to my detriment maybe, but I'm picking on Hovland. I went and basically on every market and pick the matchups against full 72 hole matchups against Hovland. I just think that the people he was matched up with, one of them being Straka, I think another one was Norin. I just think those guys are playing better golf right now. Yes, Hovland, if his driver's going well, he's peppering the fairway, but everything else is just off for him. And so I think that's something that you can take advantage of this week. Then another one, again, is going to the top of the board here, and Xander and Scheffler in the top 10 and top 5 market. If you look at what those two have been doing over the course of the year, they are hitting either a top 10 or a top 5 in 60% of their starts. And so, yes, you're getting minus money. They're coming in at, I believe, Xander, when I placed the bet, was like minus 125. And then Scheffler was minus 130 for a top 5. But I hit those. And then one of the bets that I did was I parlayed Xander and Colin for a top 10 at plus money. I think I ended up getting it at like plus 380 for Xander and Colin to place in the top 10. And then if you look at some markets, some books, they will have placings to medal. And so there's a prop that you can do is just to win a medal. So it doesn't matter what it is. And when I looked, Scheffler was plus 180 to win a medal. So even if that's basically a top 3 bet. And so I went ahead and placed that as well with the Scheffler plus 180 to win a medal. So that's all I have for you this week, guys. Again, it's kind of a short week. I'm even lowering the amount of lineups that I'm playing this week. Really, just playing a condensed player pool from the guys I talked about. And we'll come back next week with the Wyndham Championship, which is in Greensboro, North Carolina, about 25 minutes from my house, and so I'll be there on Saturday. I know that Pat Mayo said he's going to be there as well. Rick Gaiman from Rick Rungood is going to be there, so I'm going to try to catch those guys and say hello and chat with them a little bit. And so we'll have a preview next week, both for betting and DFS for the Wyndham Championship. Hope everybody is enjoying the Olympic golf this week, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.